All right, welcome. This is a live recording, so if you hear me talking, it's to the people in the chat. And I may be in my own little chat room here. I need to pop it out again. Nope, yeah. I hate that when there it goes. All right, so what I did last night, if you weren't here last night, the first thing I was talking about was I have a big art show coming up in October, and I had found the website Art Abandonment. So I was interested in doing some art abandonment. So I had some little 6x6s from a JB5, and I have those ready to. I just need to print the art abandonment tags to leave with them. So I have those ready to drop. And then I was going to show you the ones I altered last night. So this one was just the abstract, and I added this vintage photo of the girl sitting on her suitcase, and the quote says, "Do your own thing on your own terms and get what you came here for," by Olivia James, or Oliver James. It's hard to read the little text. And I like it a lot better now. And then I did, this one was sort of a matching one. So I had a vintage photo with the bike. And then it says, "Take time to do what makes your soul happy." And then on this one, I showed you guys last night this picture of this girl with floral. And then I do a flower. I'm going to color that. And then it says, "All flowers remind me of you." So that one I need to color. And this one I just added this little vintage magazine and a quote that says, "The road to my heart is paved with paw prints." So what I'll do is there's a tag that you print that says that you found art. It's yours to take. You can keep it or pass it along or leave it for someone else to find. And then it has the Facebook group and an email where they can email where they found it and post pictures on the website on Facebook. But I'm also going to leave my information and the information about art goggle. So it'll kind of promote the art goggle too. So I'm going to leave them throughout the next couple months in different places around town. So I thought that was kind of fun. And then we had jelly printed this one. Yeah, like at a store or a library. Some people put them like out on like a park bench. I'm probably gonna put mine in like a Ziploc baggie. There's one woman on the site that's going from. She went from San Francisco, which is where I think she lives, to the Keys on a trip, and she's been leaving gorgeous pottery all across the United States. It's some of the most beautiful pottery I've ever seen. Um, I would die to find that art. But I just thought it was kind of a fun thing. And then this one I found, this one of the jelly plates that I had done, and I put a quote on it, so that was just a bigger piece. So we put those aside. And then we glued this last night. This is a napkin. And then we glued the faux ephemera and the quote over here last night. And while I was watching or listening to my audiobook, I cut the girl out of white paper, and then I cut her dress out of this green scrapbook paper. So she's ready, and she's been covered with gel medium, and she's ready to paint. Yeah, wasn't her pottery, Debbie, just stunning? And I'm not a big pottery person. Yeah, I mean, some of the pieces I saw, and it was like, see one, and then I'd see another, and I'd think, oh, that one's more beautiful than the last one. This was the New York piece, and this was the napkin that I got from Mama Kay. And then we added some faux ephemera over here and a quote. And then again, last night when I was listening to my book, I took the sewing pattern and I cut it out in white paper, and then I cut her doll dress out in this scrapbook paper, so she's ready to paint. Yeah, it should be the same London napkin, I think, that Carrie got. And then, I don't know if you can see, but their dismembered bodies are in the baggie. So I have a reference. So when I go to paint them, because what I'll do is I'll paint them with the Faber Castell over the Mod Podge, which is what I'll use tonight. And you'll see what I do if you haven't seen it before. But those are ready. And then, as if that wasn't enough, I got bird crazy. I had the picture for this little canvas of the bird. So I went through papers and I couldn't decide what combination to do. So I pulled a bunch of papers and then I cut my photo reference of a bird. And so then I have these three. And I'll probably do the red on, the yellow as the main body, the red on the bottom, and the black as the wing. So I can probably actually make maybe 2 or 3 birds from these combinations. So that's one. And then I had this one, which was a yellow, a light gray, and a dark gray. And I'll probably use the one in the middle as the main body, the yellow on the breast, and the dark gray as the wing. So that's 2. This is the one I think I'm going to put on this canvas. I had this little like floral print. It's going to be the main body. The red is going to be on the breast. And this dark map in kind of a dark black gray will be the wing. And so basically that'll be the it'll be like a robin almost. That'll be the underbody, and then there'll be some of this on the head, and then this will be the wing. So I think it'll be a cute combo. And then these will go on another little canvas, because I have I got these at Ross, these little 6x6, and I got a package of 4 white for $4 and a package of 2 black and 2 white for $4. I have a lot of luck finding canvases on sale at Ross a lot of times. Used to be TJ Maxx too, but not as much anymore. So those birds are ready to go on 3 different canvases, and I'll just kind of vary them. And then I pulled these greens for the leaves, and then I just cut out like one little leaf to keep repeating for a pattern. And I cut out a couple different shapes for the florals. And then I pulled a bunch of pinks and purples. And what I'll do when I'm sitting and watching TV is cut out a whole bunch of that. Because you can see in the reference photo, it's kind of like a hyacinth or a hydrangea flower. We don't have Dollarama here. We don't have Dollarama here. And none of the dollar stores around here really carry any craft stuff that I've ever noticed. Usually I go to Dollar Tree, and they don't carry a whole lot. So most of the time I find stuff besides Tuesday Morning, Ross and TJ Maxx. But I've gotten several these were from Ross. They're 4 inches by 12 inches, and it was a set of 3, and they were $3.99. Yeah, I'm not Canadian. With this election, I probably wish I was Canadian. So tonight we're going to work on the crab, which I cut out of jelly paper. And he's on a napkin that I got at TJ Maxx. And then I have the letter C up here from some old scrapbooking letters. And he's all ready to paint. And the other one I have is Pedro that I had painted and took a photograph of my own painting and cut him out. And then I cut him out in some jelly paper that I had. And he's also on a napkin from TJ Maxx. It's the same napkin, but in the red and gold. And last night, after you guys left, I found the O for Octopus. And so what I'm going to do is work on shading. I'm going to move the camera in one more step, I think. I wish I had it manual like Barb. But I'm going to, yeah?
They're offering to give me a ride.
Oh, take it.
Okay.
Love ya.
Love you.
Bob's got a gig tomorrow with a new guy. And it'll be every week, at least once, $100 a night, maybe twice a week. All right, so is that better? I know you can't see this very well as we add the paint. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about a P for Pedro, but then nobody would get it. And since I'm going to sell it, I don't know if I want to explain every time why it's Pedro. They get this glazed over look when I tell my friends. They don't understand. They don't get it. I don't know what's wrong with them. All right, so I'm going to pull a purple and a blue and a denim blue. And I had the gray, the big gray out. I don't know what I did with it. There it is. And the gray, and what I'm going to do is put in some, yeah, I'm excited, Lynn, because the other group just isn't sort of getting it together. Yeah, he is a musician. He plays guitar. He might, after we're done recording, if we're nice, he might play a little bit that y'all can hear. But I can't have it on the recording. Yeah, he was nice about it. He probably gets Dee Dee stuff a lot. He might have been a little flattered too. I mean. All right, so I'm going to just start with kind of shading in some of the edges. And this has gel medium on it. So they're my favorite. Like, love them. Besides my jelly plate, best thing I ever invested in. But it's not about hard to get everybody together, Lynn. It's getting somebody to go book the gig. It's just like a project, and they practice. And they're all playing gigs. Because as a drummer and a bass player, it's easy to pick up gigs. You can go sit in with any band, but as a lead guitar player, you have to know the material. It's not that he sings. Bye, Terry. Are you going to dinner? And we'll probably go off and then come back after the girls. Because the girls are supposed to come on about 9 Eastern time, which is about 8 Central time. So in about an hour, I guess. So I figured you saw a crab, Donna. It's right here. We're going to work on the crab too. I'm going to work on the octopus a little bit, and then I'm going to put the little suckers on with a white paint pen, and we'll let that dry, and then we'll go and switch to the crab. But because my husband's a substitute teacher, there's not been any checks this summer. So as I was telling my teacher friends was telling me something about a sale, I was like, you guys need to stop with telling me about the sales. I am on a lockdown. money-wise. Just paid bills today, and it was not pretty. Yeah, the original Octopus was from Ustream, and I did it on a clay board, and it's acrylic paints and colored pencils. And I have to say the colored pencils didn't work very good on the clay board because of the texture. And then I just took a picture of it with my cell phone and printed it at the FedEx. But I did tell Bob, I was like, I don't care what we have to do. I have to go to the retreat next year. You can come with me. It can be our vacation. We can go to Washington, D.C. Everything's so close on the East Coast. And so what I tend to do is I put a line and then I smear it. I get paid in the summer, Natalie. We take our salary and divide it by 12 as a teacher. But when you substitute teach, you just get paid for the days you work. Well, of course, the last 2 weeks, nobody took off because you weren't allowed to, and you're not substitute teaching during the summer. So there was a really small check last month, no check this month, and there'll be no check at the end of August. Then if we're lucky, he'll start subbing again, maybe even as soon as school starts. We've had years where someone quit right as school started and the class had to start with a sub. So we're also hoping that he'll get a teaching job at my school. It just wasn't in the cards this year. There just wasn't any positions. So I'm just trying to push, see how that one made that one go on top of the one behind it? Just to kind of define. And once these dry, they're permanent. I don't think I'm going to have to do a whole lot to this because the print is so varied. Now, I did not use an X-Acto. I used my Fiskars. And all I did on the parts that were here is I just did a little pinch and snipped in here just to make a little V because I get the scissors in there. Yeah, we had people quit. We had one position that I thought he could have gotten, but they put a Turkish teacher from one of the other campuses. And that stunk. Because the kids don't really, they don't always do really well with the teachers from Turkey when they first come to the United States. They have not acclimated. The ones that have been there a while, okay, and that one's over. Just trying to figure out my under and over using my picture over here as a reference. Yeah, this is a Pitt pen, Donna. And what I did, I have several. I don't have every color they ever made, but I have a lot. And what I did to begin with was order the landscape set, which was 6, and then I ordered the set of grays. And from Amazon, I would just order sets. And then as I filled it in, I started to get some duplicates, and I ran out of sets that I could get. I went into Dick Blick and ordered singles in colors that I wanted because I just couldn't put up the money for the set. They have a set of 72 and a set of 48 or 36. They just wanted more than I could afford, but in the little sets of 6, it would only be like $9 to $14 depending who was selling them on Amazon. And then I just went in, I made a list. I went on Dick Blick and looked down the list and found the ones I didn't have and ordered ones I was interested in. I need to go in and order a few more singles. I do like the smaller ones better than the big brush. I just find that they're easier to use. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know if my Michaels carries. They just have the black. Now, when I get the black, I usually get the set. That's the brush, the medium, the small, and the extra small tip. And the portrait set is good. The gray set and the portrait set are the landscape, the portrait, and the gray are really a good starter set if you only get a few. Because you can do just a lot with just the gray on canvases. But the way I use them, you have to do it over a gel medium. I use Mod Podge, but you could use Liquitex or any matte medium. That way they slide. Yeah, if you have a brush and a skinny tip, then you probably have a Zig or a Tim Holtz Distressed. These, I have a few of these from my scrapbooking days. These are water-based. They're not permanent. The pens are Indian ink. So once they dry, they're permanent. And then after they're dry, I do go ahead and go over them with another layer of the gel medium. And then I finish them with a varnish, just so that when the person gets it, they can't scratch it off because it's sitting on the surface. But that's why I liked these, and that's why I use the ink tints. But the ink tints, the colors are unusual. So I just smudge. Yeah, I use this. I know that the Golden's gel medium is great. I'm not a big, like I bought this Liquitex Gloss Heavy Gel because it was about $5 cheaper maybe. I used my coupon at Mike's instead of the Golden's Heavy Gel Medium because I thought, oh, I'll just say it, I'll try it. It's not bad gel medium, but it's much thinner. This stuff holds. So I will definitely go back and buy this. Ink tints are a watercolor pencil patty, but when it dries, it's permanent. Yeah, I think this is a gel medium. It's more water than some of the others, but it works really well for the acrylic skins. When you make the acrylic skins, I'll show you the ones I made. One of them, I don't use the other one. This is the acrylic skin I made, and what I did was I took a page protector for scrapbooking. This one's cut, so that's why it's so small. and I laid down Mod Podge and let it sit. And then I put black slick tulip paint and I let that sit. And when that was dry and it was clear, then I came back with another layer of Mod Podge. And now what I can do is I can peel this and cut pieces of it and put it on canvas. And so I can move it around and decide where I want it. Well, the only thing about the Mod Podge that I don't like is here in Texas, it never really dries. I use them on, well, here, I'll show you how I used one of those. Just a second. Well, I say, now I can't find it. I don't know what to do with it. I just use it on canvases or on pieces, and I just add the gel medium and add it to the piece. Patty does that too. She's never shown on her video making them, but hers a lot of times are just single lines that she'll put on. But yeah, when I use this, I have to put, in the end, I do put a varnish over it. Yeah, they have different finishes of the Mod Podge, but Carrie, the R humidity is so high here, it just doesn't. Yeah, I like my skins. In fact, I got white and red Deco Arts gloss enamels to try. They have a fine tip writer. And so I thought, and I may take some of this white because I have one of those other fine tip applicator tips. I thought about doing like a turquoise. There's some metallics. Well, see, these get stacked and stored. I have old drawers from a dresser that I stack all my inventory in. And I noticed that if they sit a long time, that sometimes they want to stick together unless I put a little varnish on them. And if I varnish them, then I don't seem to have that problem. And when you're working with this, if you get something you don't like I got some blue over here on the napkin, if you wipe it off right away with a baby wipe, you're good. As long as it hasn't permanently dried. Jean and Carrie, do you plan on streaming tomorrow? I figure Shauna will tomorrow during the day. I go through a lot of it, Carrie. I bought Now, I did buy this on sale at Walmart. It's the furniture grade, and it's much thinner. And I bought this, and that was a month ago. I've since then mixed both of these bottles together. This bottle has maybe a fourth, and this bottle has maybe half. So I've gone through a bottle in a month because I use so much of it. So I don't think I could afford the Goldens and the Liquitex. I think I would love them, but I don't think I could afford them. If I want to take that marker in farther, I just put more there. Hi, Vicky. All right, so I asked, yeah, Jean, we can all tag team all. I don't mind streaming late at the end again. And I know they're going to come on tomorrow for a while. I don't expect them to stay on too long tonight or tomorrow night. And you know they're tired, and as Patty and Paula kind of have already said, that the people that are there paid to be there, and they want to give their attention, like they don't want to neglect them since they're hostess at this event. But I thought tomorrow I could paint these. I can get Deco Arts, Deco Page, which I don't like as well as the Mod Podge. But I can get that, and I need to order some more of it. I wish they would come out with well, I think they might have it, the mixed media line. I know they have gessos. I don't know if you can tell, but you can starting to see his legs. Yeah, that's what I found too, Linda, that you definitely can't rush it and you have to let it dry overnight. You know, see, I just realized I went in the wrong over under, but it was still damp, so I was able to take it away. Aww. My kitties are all probably passed out in different chairs. The Siamese tries to come in here, but she's not really allowed because she'll She'll lay on sticky wet work in a New York second. Or get up and try to walk when you're painting and like hit the tip of your brush. She'd try to compute on the keys of the computer. And as this area that I worked on dried over here, then I can come back in and darken it. Okay, and then this is the outside. And then it kind of comes down like that. Start to lay in where the eye is and the head. And what I usually do in the beginning is I put a line and I pull it across, which you can see how it'll feather out. And then I come back in when I'm happy with it and put in my line that I want to leave. Now on some of these I don't want to darken it too much. I don't want to lose the jelly print and the variation of color in it. So I'm really just looking to do some shadows. And then I clean my finger on the baby wipe, especially if I switch colors. And the napkin has the gel medium on it also, so that I go on to the napkin with the grays later to do some shadowing. It's no problem. Okay. Okay. Just trying to get some of that eye in. And I'm just coming back and darkening some of the areas. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to come in, and I think on these really dark areas, I may put some purple in that blue, and even some gray. And when I have the gray out, I'll also probably put some drop shadows on the napkin. Okay, and purple here. A little bit there. Okay, and then I'm gonna add some purple in here just to give some roundness to the head. And then I have some bright blue that I'm going to put in some places. To kind of almost brighten it up in a few places. Let's see. In a couple of these places where it's green, I'm going to use a green. Just because I want to keep that green from the jelly print. Try some green right here. Oh, I like that. I'm going to put some up in here. I'm trying to get that roundness. I'll give you a closer peek. I know it's dark. It's hard, probably hard to see on the screen. Hi, Barb. The cat and dog today were too cute. I don't have any alcohol inks, but made me want to go get glossy paper and alcohol inks. Okay. Yeah, it's hard for me to tell sometimes what you can see. Pedro over here almost lost a leg there. Okay. This is a white. And it has more of a chalky texture, I find. It's just the white Pitt pen. And I just want to do some of the areas that are more highlighted. And when you use it, you'll pick up other colors. So I usually clean the tip. One of mine works well, and one I think has a little glue on the tip. In fact, let me switch to the other one. Yeah, this is the one that works. This is the one that's, I think I've ruined. Okay. I'm pretty happy with where it's at right now. The next thing I want to do is find the white paint pen. Alright. If I can figure out where I laid it down. There's the... I'll just pick up. There it is. I just rolled under the color wheel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in all the white. And then we'll start with his eye. Lay in that white and let it dry, and then I'll come back in. And I'm just going to drop dots down, and then I'll come back to them. I think this will help with the 3D. Effect. And then I'll come back and put the dark after the white's dried. These kind of went from like a bigger to a smaller. Thanks, Barb. He's cut out from jelly paper. Oh, that was too big. I'm just getting it with the, while it's still damp. Oh.
I think I'm not taking trouble.
Okay.
Because it's a real easy drive. Just
I'll ask Robin. Is there
Just
room for
drop off
Robin?
there.
Excuse me, guys, just a second. Is there room for Robin in the truck in the back, or me if she sits in the front?
Probably.
Because it's just your gear. It's not like anybody else's gear. Well, I may ask her if she wants to go, because then she'd sit at the table with me. We were discussing whether I'm going to go tomorrow night or not go. Sometimes I hate to go and kind of sit by myself. Okay. I noticed on some of these, you can see like rows and pairs, and sometimes you can't. I'm sure it's just supposed to be the angle. These are bigger on here. I'm going to come down, let's do the little ones and come back. I don't want to hit it with my hand. Okay. I'm going to make that be one. These need to be bigger. All right, and then these are the pairs again. It's amazing how just the little white dots make such a difference. It helps sort of separate the legs out. Oh, I just realized something. This right here is the tip of this leg. Okay. And these are bigger. All right, and then the little ones are coming in front of this one. And then they get bigger. Okay, I'm just trying to work from the left to the right. I think this is dry enough to get this. Okay. And these over here are kind of grayed out, so I'm going to do in the white and then I'll hit them with the light gray. Not the dark gray that I used earlier. They're really in a shadow. If I go next year, I'll have to drive. There's just, I priced flying, and even though it takes longer, plus if Bob and I both, if we both go, then, or if I can talk one of my girlfriends in to going. I almost had one of them talked into it. Okay. Oh, that's the way Texas is, Terry. Just for me to get out of the state of Texas would take, well, it depends how I went. To Houston is 5 hours from where I live. 5 to 6 hours. Thank you, Colleen. But to Texarkana, it's not, it's probably 4 to 5 just to get, I mean, just to get across the state from one end to the other takes like 10 to 12 hours. Okay. All right, and this is also grayed out. Oh, that's too much paint again. Okay. There's just some little ones over here. And there's little ones over here. And they get bigger. But I can't imagine having to decide what to pack or take. Okay, little ones over here on the top. And the ones underneath start over here. Okay. These are a little larger right here. Almost done with the spots. I just need them higher up over here. All right, I'm gonna give this another coat in the middle of his eye. This is where I need, there you go, a larger amount to spill. Okay, that was bizarre. I tried to clean off the tip and it just fell out of the pen. Huh. All right. All right, I think I've got all his white dots, so I'm put that away. And that took long enough that I bet they're dry. I think Linda has the best job in the world. Yeah, this is a paint marker. And they're refillable. I have the white and the black. Okay, so now what I want to do is find the cold gray that's warm. You can tell the warm ones are different from the cold because they almost have a taupe color to them. And there's 3 warm. I have 2 of the same color. And there's 3 cold grays that they have. So that's the 3 warm grays, and like I said, they have more of a taupe color to them. I don't use them as often as the cold gray. And then these are the 3 grays in the cold gray. No, I haven't refilled one yet. I've taken the nib out and kind of cleaned it because it was kind of gunked up. All right, so a couple of these areas, the spots are grayed, so I'm just gonna hit them with this gray on the white, just to dull them down from the others. All right, and then I'm gonna come back with the blue and maybe the black. I'm gonna see and put in the dots in the middle. And they're not in all of them. It's really just in those ones that are closer, larger and closer up. Closer up. Is that not? I don't think that's a word. The ones that are close up. The blue's working all right, so I don't think I'm going to have to go to the black. And you can get a fine little dot with that tip unless you're hard on your tips of your markers. I still say that it would be fun to get someone that had a larger vehicle to, like, on a state that was to the west of me, to drive and like pick, like if you could find a route where you could go across the people that were driving and pick people up along the way, and by the time you got to Maryland you'd have 5 or 6 girls with their stuff in an SUV. I think that would be a fun way to go if you were going to drive. Yeah, and you're so isolated, Carrie, where you are as it is. On some of these really tiny ones, I'm adding just a tiny little tip. I'm sort of surprised with all the people that we have that come into the streams and in our groups that there's not really anybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's several people on YouTube that are in the Houston area. I just know a couple people, but I've never met them. Now I see that Jamie comes to Burleson all the time, which is just about 15 minutes from me. But it's always to visit her kids, so she's I see it like when they're out to dinner and they post, they ate someplace, and I'm like, Jamie, you were less than 5 miles away from me. That is weird. That one does not want to take a dot. Let me try black. There we go. That white was resistant. Maybe they're still wet. I'm going to switch to black on some of them. Okay. I think I have them all for the most part. I'm going to come in here and work with this black on his eye a little. And darken a few places still. Okay. Soften that black up there. I don't like that. All right, his eye is kind of a brown. I'm going to start with the golden ochre. Put that in. And then I'm going to kind of let this blend in from the outside and kind of in the inside. And I'm going to blend them together a little bit. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. Okay, this letter over here needs some work. I'm going to take the dark gray and come in the middle and just put a drop shadow. And the same thing around the outside. So it sort of stands out. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of a Yeah, the black kind of really added. I think I may add it in a few more places. I'm going to take a little red and shadow this pink on this letter a little bit, just to, and then kind of a coral color. Got to make sure my hand's clean before I go to some of these colors. Oh, I like that better. Because I wasn't really happy. I think it gave it more. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Debbie. All right. Maybe the black in a few more areas where it needs just kind of that definition. I think it needs it right there. Oh, this is the blue. I think that black needs to go right in there, too. Now I can't go near the suckers there. All right, I think it needs some gray. I'm going to add some shadows in some places, so the background's a little bit shadowed. And I'm just going below, I'm not going on, I'm going below and then pulling out. So I'm on the napkin. And basically what I'm going to do is go on some of the undersides of these. So like there's a shadow on the floor below them. I haven't tried the Liquitex. I have the Deco Arts furniture line, which I didn't care for. And then I have their Americana photo transfer, which I liked. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that where these crossover is defined. My overs and unders. Just give the edge of his head a little bit of black. All right, and he needs, it's almost done. Needs the rest of his eye. Okay. Night, Patty. All right, got his eye in there. I'm going to come back to that white and put just a small little highlight in there. Come back with that black just a little bit and clean that up. Okay, and I think I'm gonna find the medium black. Sign it over here. And I think he's done. And they should be coming on pretty soon. Bye, Vicky. So what I'll do is after he's dried a little bit, because the paint pen, sometimes the paint wants to move when you go to put Mod Podge, gel medium, or varnish on it. Those little white dots may try to move. So I'm gonna let it kind of cure, and then I'm going to put a coat of the gel, a real light watered down coat of the gel medium. Let it dry, and then I'll put a high gloss varnish. But I think Pedro's done. And the only thing I do know, there's a few spots here where the napkin tore, and I'm just going to hit it with some like dazzling metallics. So I think he turned out, he's different than this one. I wasn't trying to do them the same. But I thought that with the jelly print, with the blues and greens, and it was kind of one of those, I didn't like jelly prints. It was actually a jelly print that I'd come back and put extra paint over through the stencil. So it was kind of just thrown in my stash. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I don't think I'm going to do the crab tonight because they should be coming on pretty soon.